Hello everybody, welcome back to Food for Thought. On this week's episode, we are going to be meal prepping with me, and we are also going to be talking about the infamous imposter syndrome and what it is and how it can show up in your life. So what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. So basically, imposter syndrome is the belief that you are not capable enough, and that because you have this belief that you're not capable enough, when you continue to try in whatever area that is, you feel like a fraud and that you are misleading others. So it's really an issue where you just believe that you aren't capable enough and that your skills are not capable enough. And I first heard the term imposter syndrome in graduate school at the age of 22. I have been studying the field of psychology since like the age of 17, and I just first heard the term 2 years ago. I'm still baffled the fact that I haven't heard that term yet in any of my other psychology classes, but I heard it in graduate school, not even because we were learning about it. It was just a topic that a lot of graduate students feel imposter syndrome, but I also feel like it pertains to everybody outside of graduate school. We all have a level of a certain imposter syndrome depending on our belief systems. So what does it actually look like? And imposter syndrome can look like not taking risks because you are afraid of how others are going to react. It can also look like not believing in your abilities and in yourself, so you decide to not go forward with something. You decide not to take that risk to really show off your abilities. It also can manifest as thoughts that you are not good enough, that there is someone else out there that's more qualified than you, that if you learn a little bit more, then you can be seen as an expert, or that there's this thought that you have to have a degree or a certification to be knowledgeable in an area and to speak freely and act within that. And I really believe that imposter syndrome is rooted in perfectionism. And if you aren't perfect at whatever it is that you're knowledgeable on, then you are not capable of applying it to your life and helping others apply it to their life as well. And I firmly believe that the society we live in has exacerbated imposter syndrome with the culture and beliefs that we are living in, that you must go to college to be successful, that you must have 75 letters behind your name to be qualified. And let me tell you, that could not be more incorrect. I low-key feel like we have put people who have so many letters behind their name and all these college degrees on a pedestal of knowing all of this information, but I'm here to question that. Just because you have a degree, does that mean that you can even apply the knowledge to your life? Do you have the life experience? And I am just here to really talk about that. And I feel like it really has been ingrained in us since we are little that we must go to college, that we must have a good paying job to live a happy life. That once we reach that certain threshold, then we can be happy. Then we can be seen as successful. And I'm really here to ask the question, why do we have to reach a certain threshold to feel happy, to feel successful, to feel seen, and to be acknowledged for our knowledge that we have and our abilities? Before I continue on with this conversation, I do really want to put out a disclaimer that if you do have, I'm not saying that all people who have 75 letters behind their name or a lot of degrees don't know what they're talking about. There are plenty of people out there who have taken so much time to really learn different things, and they are very capable and they have the knowledge and they are doing great things. But I also put this out there that you don't need to have 75 letters behind your name or a bunch of degrees to prove that you are knowledgeable. I kind of want to show you that there is another path besides just spending all of this money to get degrees. I do think that you have to put things out there and certain types of energy out there in order to become knowledgeable in things, but I don't think college is always the right answer for everybody, and that's why I'm kind of bringing up this conversation, because I am going through the battle of imposter syndrome, and my grad school journey has really awoken that within me. And I am learning this from my own experience. Everything that I really learned and applied to my life and reality is really not what I learned in my schooling experience. What I learned in all my public school education, my college degrees, my master's degree, yes, they gave me valuable knowledge, but how I really learned about mental health support and healing was really through my own life experience, through reading different books. And I kind of think it's funny that I went for school for psychology and mental health, and I never really actually focused on that. I feel like while I was learning, I kind of learned the basics, but I never really dove deeper into the mental health support. I learned that all in my own life and on my own time. So the way that I experience and the reasons why I experience imposter syndrome is going to look very different from your experience. My battle with this is that I have a master's degree and I have a lot of life experience with mental health support, mindset shifting, knowledge of our emotions and the powers they hold, and really the knowledge about healing and how we are such amazing beings and hold so much power. But for some reason, I feel that I'm not capable enough to share that and help others. I feel like a fraud. And the battle of imposter syndrome is not something that is happening outside of me. Imposter syndrome is a battle that is happening from within. It is rooted in my belief system. And the thing about belief systems is that we have so many different belief systems for every area of our life. So for me, I have a belief system that I'm enough, I'm loved, I'm supported, but I also have this belief system of I'm not capable, I'm not smart enough, and how is that possible? And it just is. And when you begin to peel back the layers of your onion, you realize that there's different layers, and that's where certain belief systems were learned and kind of kept. And if you haven't peeled back the layers on an onion, you will continue to operate from that belief system because it's been buried within that layer. So I have been on the journey of peeling my layers, and I've done a lot of work on the layers that I've been working on, that I've peeled back. I've healed a lot of layers, but I still have so many layers to go, and I think we all will always have some type of layer to work on. And it can be really scary peeling back these layers and really kind of reopening wounds and belief systems and thoughts that we have hid for a long time that we might not even know are there. So it's definitely not an easy process, but it's very empowering when you peel back and you're able to heal those layers. And our old belief systems work for that period of time. We're supposed to evolve them as we experience life, but it's really easy to get stuck on autopilot and live life through those old limiting belief systems that once had a purpose, that once served us very well, but they're not supposed to serve us for our whole lives. And I have finally come to the layer in my onion of imposter syndrome. It is time for me to peel back and dive into that issue that I'm having in my life, and it really comes from my perfectionist belief system that I am still operating on. And I have touched upon this layer before, but I didn't really dive into the work of my perfectionism. I really acknowledged that I was operating from my perfectionist tendencies, but I didn't dive into the why I was operating from perfectionist tendencies at the time. And I don't think at that time I needed to know why. At that time, I was working on shifting my mindset from a fixed to a growth mindset. And at the time, I didn't have to peel back that layer in order to shift my mindset to a growth mindset. I was able to do that without going too deep. But for my life in the present moment, I need to understand the why behind it, to let go of this imposter syndrome, because it really is limiting me now from really growing my business and really doing what I want in this lifetime. It is really holding me back from living my dream life. I want to be a life coach. That is my dream. And I want to help others. I help others live in alignment with their souls by fostering unconditional self-love, by elevating their mindset and really learning their values. But I haven't started this side of my business because of this imposter syndrome. So if I want to be a life coach, I know that I must peel back this layer to heal this layer, because I know that I'm light. I am here to guide myself and others out of darkness. And my life coaching business is going to be one of the aspects of that purpose. And if I'm going to be the best life coach I can be, I must guide myself out of the darkness first. So how am I going to peel back this layer? I wish that I can just say that acknowledging that I struggle with imposter syndrome will be enough to heal this one, but it's not. Sometimes just acknowledgement is enough to heal a layer or two, but for this one, this is rooted very deep within, so it's going to take a little bit more than just acknowledgement to really heal this layer. So the way that I'm going to begin to peel back this layer is to really acknowledge that this is blocking me from where I want to be, that it is no longer supporting my soul and my purpose, but I am going to also show it some gratitude because this belief and feeling supported me somewhere on my journey. And then I am really honestly forever grateful that I get to learn this lesson, that I get to go through this experience. So really showing gratitude towards it. And the next step in peeling this layer is to really dive deep into this belief, trying to really figure out the very first moment this perfectionist tendencies were planted. And then I will begin to really identify what experiences have watered this seed to grow and really root itself within me. And I'm going to do this through meditation, through journaling, through sitting with myself, and really being open to receive. And in these practices, I will acknowledge that this belief system is no longer serving me, and that I am releasing it and that I'm letting it go. And releasing can look different or it can look the same. But for me, I do not have a crystal ball, but I do think it's going to look like a lot of crying for me or sweating through an exercise to really release it out of my system. And there is a mental aspect of letting things go, but there is also a very physical reaction. So that can be the crying or sweating like I was just talking about. And when I let it go, when I let things go, my energy shifts and somehow time moves a little slower and it really allows me to fit more things that I love into my day. So I will really know that I'm letting this energy go when my time begins to move a little bit slower and I have more time to do what I want in my day. And when I identify and let that belief system go and all of the things that go along with it, I will begin to take care of that soil where those roots were ripped out. I will do this by doing things that I love, like spending time with people that are joyful, creating content for YouTube, my podcast, my blog, Instagram, just really creating things. And as I begin to take care of the soil, I'll begin planting new seeds that I can water that will foster a belief system that I am capable, that I am smart enough, that I have the knowledge to guide myself and others out of darkness. And once I plant those seeds, I will water them every day to allow their roots to grow deep within my soul. And each day I will take a step closer to opening my life coaching business and all the other aspects of my business of whatever they're going to look like. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like, but really take the steps that I need in order to really fulfill my life's purpose and what it's going to look like in reality. So each day I will take a step closer into opening that part of my business to help you live in alignment with your soul by fostering unconditional self-love, by elevating your mindset and identifying your values. If you don't take imposter syndrome by the hand and let it guide your life, it can become very debilitating. And I have experienced that by not taking risks, by not just trying. It can really take over your life if you allow it to. But the beauty of imposter syndrome is if you meet that resistance of that belief system of I'm not capable or wherever it's kind of coming for you, if you meet that resistance where it's at, you are able to begin to peel back that layer and to identify the root of your imposter syndrome and really allow it to be released and let it go so you can live the life that you want. Like I said earlier, imposter syndrome is a battle within. It is not a battle with the external world. It really comes from something that's rooted within you. So this is a chance for myself, and if you are struggling with imposter syndrome and you don't want to be living life like that anymore, this is really the opportunity for you to elevate your mindset, to really elevate your life, and to really help heal a part of you that maybe you didn't even know was there. And I'm I'm really excited to go through this journey of imposter syndrome and peel back this layer, because it really has impacted my life, and it really has stopped me from really reaching the dreams and the goals that I want to reach. And I know that I'm very capable of everything that I set my mind to. I just really need to make sure that my belief system is also in alignment with my soul. And if I continue to live with imposter syndrome and some perfectionist tendencies, I will never actually be living in alignment with who I am at my core. So this is such an awesome opportunity for me to really become more in alignment. And each step and each experience that I've taken in this lifetime has brought me so much closer to really who I am. And I kind of feel like life is about trying to get back to who our soul actually is. And for everyone, that looks very different of who we are on our soul level. We are all connected in some way into the whole grand scheme of things, but our souls are here for different missions. And I really believe that we go through life experiences, we get so pulled away from who we actually are in order for us to find out who we really are. I feel like the game of life, like really, how can we get so much closer to our souls in this lifetime? And this experience of imposter syndrome is doing that for me. I am getting one step closer to really who I am and to really being that light, to guide myself out of darkness. Imposter syndrome is one of my shadows, and it's time for me to shine my light on it, to really heal it and to let it go. And I hope that this conversation maybe has sparked something within you. If it has triggered something within you, like I always say, go into those triggers, because our triggers are some of the most telling places of where we need to work on areas in our life. And I just kind of want to say a little bit of gratitude for whoever is watching this. I am so grateful that you are here. I'm so grateful that you find interest in my mind, body, soul approach of really nourishing your body with really healthy food, and my healing journey with healing my imbalanced hormones and my autoimmune, and really just being the best self that I can be in this lifetime. I really just want to show appreciation to you, and that I'm very thankful that you're here. If you like this content, please like below, comment anything, maybe how you've overcome imposter syndrome, what's your favorite recipe, what recipes do you want you to see me make. I am so open for that feedback, and if any of this resonates with you and you want to continue to follow along with this journey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it, and I am so excited to be on this journey of life with you, even if it is through a computer screen. Maybe one day we will connect in some part of this lifetime, but I am just very thankful that I have the opportunity to share my voice with you all.